This is Ashley Hodge with a Sikkim 365 post-game call-in show coming to you after Baylor's 74-71 win against West Virginia. I'm joined by Baylor legend Rico Gathers, former NFL Dallas Cowboy as well. Rico's a man of many talents. Was just asking him what he was doing. He's telling me he's got a lot of online businesses that are doing really well. Rico, it's good to see you in Waco. You've been here a lot of games, and man, I'm excited to hear your opinions and get some calls. Call-in shows are always better with calls, I've heard. Right. So let's get some calls loaded up. There's a link on the premium side if you go to the thread that we've pinned at the top. So I'd love to get your calls and ask questions of Rico. Let's ask questions about the team. Let's talk about this win. It was a big win. This was a must-win, really.
Right.
I mean, now you're flirting with the bubble a little bit.
Yeah.
And now you're on the right side of that, and West Virginia's probably feeling a little bit more uneasy after losing. You got a big game coming up against Arizona. That's going to be a game that's a big opportunity for the Bears to get another win at home. I thought today we played well. We didn't shoot it well, but we had open looks that we just missed. A lot of threes that we just, got good looks and just, couldn't make them. I think VJ was 0 for 5 from 3. Langston was 1 for 6. And then Jalen Celestine was 2 for 6. So they shot quite a few of them. Jeremy Roach was 0 for 2. Everybody else, Jaden Nunn 1 for 2. And then you had Rob Wright made his only 3 that he took. But we got to the free throw line a lot. Langston was 12 for 12 from the free throw line. That was big. And outscoring them 27-11 at the free throw stripe was an important reason why we got that win in overtime. What were your observations, Rico? What did you see? What did you like? What concerns you?
I mean, it was a typical day in the Big 12, You're going to get those grinded out games, and that's exactly what this was. We had to take them to overtime to get the win. I mean, that's what you expect, on the Big 12 Saturday. So,
right.
Of course, we came out slow, in my opinion. But, at the end of the day, when the team puts it together and, that outcome is a W, hey, you got to take them. You got to, at this late in the season, you got to take them how they come.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And a big thing is, obviously missing Josh Ojuluna. You're missing some size and some rebounding inside. So other people got to pick up the slack on the glass. We know Norchad. I'm sure you've heard the comparisons to you.
Of course.
He plays a lot like you, double machine.
And that's what I tell them. I tell everybody, I'm like, he's a hybrid version of me because I didn't shoot the 3 at all. And the 1 3 I did shoot, I made.
That's right. Yeah.
So,
it was Kansas, right?
Yeah, versus Kansas.
Yeah.
So, but like I said, I really did the bulk of my work underneath the rim. He steps out a lot, and, he's way more versatile than what I displayed when I was here. He's a hybrid version of myself, and I love watching him play.
Right, yeah. Man, you had I was looking up some old videos of you against West Virginia. There were some wars, you had some.
West Virginia was like, West Virginia and TCU.
Yeah.
That was like my 2 favorite teams to play because I already knew it was going to be, a
Physical.
great game. Great game for me. It was going to be a double-double for sure, I mean.
Yeah.
I posted, some of my nastiest double-doubles against, both of those teams.
Right.
So.
Yeah, I remember Huggins used to speak with such envy about wanting you on his team and then wanting Mark Vidal on his team.
Yeah.
Those are the 2 guys he really, always was jealous that he was having to play against. But, yeah.
The thing is, like, back then, it was a era of bruisers.
Right.
And he had a few bruisers that
he did.
he would, he had on that team literally to, play against me, I guess. Because literally, it was like, dang, he got all these Rico Gathers looking, caliber players.
Yeah.
So I could see where that envy came from.
Right. Yeah, they really hit the offensive glass. Of course, that was a big part of has been a big part of our success and continues to be a big part of our success. But, back to rebounding, we're dealing with a shorter lineup. We're playing more guard heavy lineups, but we out rebounded them 40-36. So you'll take that.
Right. Yeah.
It didn't shoot the 3 well. They were 8 for 31. We were 5 for 22. But the free throw discrepancy, and then I think the turnovers, they got a few points in transition that kept them closer. But good win, and against a quality team. West Virginia's done some good work this year. They beat Arizona, they beat Gonzaga. We know how we struggled against Gonzaga, and they went to Kansas and beat Kansas. So
incredible win.
Yeah, good stuff. All right, do we have any calls loaded yet, Walker?
We might have a couple. We'll
All right, sounds good.
This should be under the name Goldtron.
Hey, Goldtron. Welcome to the post-game call-in show. Ashley Hodge, Rico Gathers.
What's up,
hey, guys. How are y'all?
Good.
Where was VJ today? It just seemed like he played tentatively. I saw a couple of times I thought he had alleys to drive the basket, and he'd take one step and then look to pass.
Right.
I mean, with that, he's, what I can tell is that, he's probably still, lingering a little bit, trying to, put his best foot forward, coming off that Kansas game. So, but, all in all, I mean, he's a fighter. So, some games, I mean, coming off that full head of steam that he was building up before that, that little ankle or whatever he got going on. I don't know.
Up until the injury, he was playing.
Yeah, he was playing lights
out in
out
the Big 12, right?
So, but now it just looked like he's trying to get his footing back. In place and stuff. And I mean, that's cool. Like, I like the fight. I like the drive.
Right.
I like the determination to, help this team win. Like, that's what matters most.
Yeah, he did some good things except for scoring. He had 8 rebounds. He had 6 assists, no turnovers, 1 block and 1 steal.
Hey, you asked about VJ. How about Langston Love?
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah. Aren't we glad to have that guy back?
Yeah, no kidding.
He didn't miss a free throw today, did he?
No, he didn't.
Nah.
Yeah, he looked good. He battled on the glass. He played good defense.
Rob,
42 minutes.
Robert Wright.
Rob was
like,
tough.
both of them playing great basketball. And I mean, that's the type of people that you want to lean on down this stretch.
Right.
All eyes on VJ. So, getting those guys, contributing at a high level, that's what this team's been needing.
Yeah,
so.
And then Jaden Nunn, he only has 6 points, but he has the and one.
Right.
He has a big 3. I mean, that's 4 rebounds. Those are all big contributions as well. So yeah, Roach, we need to get him going. If we can get him going, then I think you got the makings of a really dangerous team. But interesting starting lineup. Roach wasn't in the starting lineup. Got any comments on that? You think they're just trying to get more size out there?
I mean, it's a rotational team, so they play with a limited rotation.
Right.
I mean, it don't really matter if you start or not.
Right.
You're gonna get minutes in either way the cut goes. So.
Right. Yeah. Hey, good question. All right, we got another call, Walker.
It looks like we do. We have Andy.
Hey, Andy. Welcome to the
Good,
post-game
Andy.
call-in show. Ashley Hodge, Rico Gathers. Can you hear us, Andy? Are you unmuted? Make sure you're unmuted.
Hey, there we go. Hey, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
What was VJ's thing today? Why was he not being aggressive?
That's the same question we just got.
Hey, look.
And maybe you guys already talked about that,
We
but
did, yeah.
it was clear. I don't know if he had the flu or what.
Hey, and at the end of the day, like, shoot, I don't like to speculate. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, he was out there.
Yeah.
And sometimes them games, hey, it ain't gonna be perfect at
Right.
all. Like, and the fact that he almost had like a triple double.
Right, yeah.
So
8
it's
points,
like,
6 assists, 7 points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists.
yeah, so I mean that that's pretty good, solid
Right.
stats. Of course, we want to see him produce more on the offensive end,
Right.
but at the end of the day, we don't know what was going on. Only he does. You know what I mean? And it's just for him to figure it out and get out there and produce.
I mean, West Virginia's had their struggles offensively, but they're a top 20 defense. I mean, they make you look a little rougher offensively. So I mean, credit to them. I was texting with Rebel T on our board, and he said that the shot quality. There's a website called Shot Quality that like says what the score should have been.
Yeah.
And I expected it was going to be lopsided to Baylor because we had so many open looks we just missed. They actually had it West Virginia 77, Baylor 76, based on the shots taken. I thought that was kind of interesting.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of that was they didn't expect a lot of the shots Rob took in the paint, kind of hard, double clutch layups. I mean, that went in. But
So if they based it off that, then that means that West Virginia didn't play good at all.
well, the one guy for them
They didn't make some shots they should have made.
Yeah, Jonathan Powell, who's normally one of their top scorers, he only had 4 points, and he was 1 for 12. So I think they were saying a lot of his shots would normally go in. But anyway, it's kind of interesting. Yeah, good. You'll take an off game from VJ and a win over a great game from VJ and a loss any day of the week.
Yeah, it's all about wins down this stretch. If we're trying to make the tournament, so we'll take it.
It's a big one. No more calls right now. Okay, I do have some questions for you, Rico, that are in the chat. Let me get to them. Well, you probably heard this before, but the big thing was like they used to talk about you, and they would say things like, "Did you know Rico didn't lift weights until he got to college," or something like that? Is that true? You lifted weights. Did you lift weights in high school?
I'm gonna be honest. Like I lifted. I used to lift before, when I was like 7 and 8, I was push-up, sit-ups.
Yeah,
like that's all I do. So I had the 8-pack.
Right.
I was real cut up. It kind of reminded me of my youngest son right now.
Yeah,
like he's real cut up for his age, but and then like by the time I turned 12, that's when I started like lifting and protein powder, and stuff like that, and then it just stopped.
Right.
Like I didn't have to, just lift no more. Like I was just super athletic and super, just stronger than everybody.
Right.
And most of that was just from ripping and running up and down the court. And, just having natural God-given size.
Right.
Like,
right.
It's kind of hard to, coach or chisel up a 6'6" stature, at the time. So it was like, at the end of the day, I just had God-given Hercules attributes. So
right. Like what some of the questions in the chat are about the NIL era.
Mm-hmm.
All right, first of all, how much do you think you would earn in today's era?
First off,
I mean, double guys.
I was getting NIL opportunities before the NIL era.
Right. Right.
Like I tell people all the time, like if I would have went to, other schools, I probably would have made,
some money,
some NIL money. But, for me, it was bigger than that. Like I wanted to be somewhere where like literally it was about winning.
Right.
And that's why I chose Baylor, because at the end of the day, like I always was a winner at heart.
Right.
Even though, we done took some L's ourselves.
Yeah.
We didn't, first round knockouts and stuff. But at the end of the day, like I knew the culture here was about, winning and trying to bring that national championship that we eventually brought in 2021.
That's right.
And, like being a part of that dynasty, that legacy, what I mean? That's what it was about. So, I could have went to school for the money, but at the end of the day, like, I wanted the experience. I wanted to work hard for something that was bigger than me.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, no, that's good. So, what, like today's day and age, I mean, was it this way for you? I mean, you were, I'm trying to think of your time frame, 2011 through 2015?
2012 to 16.
2012 to 2016.
Yeah.
Okay. So you were on that. Were you on that first Elite 8 team?
No.
Okay. So you started in the fall of 2012.
Yeah. So
that's right.
NIT championship.
And then the next year,
Sweet 16.
Yeah. Yep.
And then boop boop.
Yep. Yeah.
Because that's how fast we got out the tournament.
Yeah.
Like, boop boop. You know what I mean? To some boo boop teams.
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah.
Like,
and Georgia, State, I think.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, but I mean, you had great regular seasons, lots of big moments.
Yeah.
How much do you think it's changed? I mean, you got now guys that have agents in their ears constantly. You've got,
it's such a monopoly now.
Right.
And I can only imagine how these players feel like, man, I'm just like, people see opportunity in me.
Yeah.
But it's like, and like, now like these players walking around with, all this money that they walking around with. And it's like, shoot, You know, I just don't want players to get complacent with this system that they've created.
Right.
Like at the end of the day, like, yes, making money in college is cool, but don't let that limit you from continuing to develop into the player that you're capable of being. You know, don't just get complacent because you making this X, Y, and Z amount of money. Like, because at the end of the day, like if you settle for the amount of money that you're making now, and you just be like, okay, yeah, like I'm good.
It's short-sighted.
I'm good. Like, shit. If I have a bad game, I'm still getting this money, and at the end of the day, it's all about continuing to develop, like, because, you have fans that want to see, the team win.
Right.
And that should be the most important thing that we focus on as a team is winning.
Right.
Like I used to win for free.
Right.
You ain't have to pay me to go out there and want to win.
Right.
You ain't have to pay me to go out there and try to get every rebound.
Or even like
I was gonna do that regardless.
Yeah.
Like, that's just in me. That's just that's my mindset.
Right.
And, I just think a lot of these guys, the mindset,
Yeah.
the mindset, the energy, and the effort,
Right.
and the execution is lacking.
Right.
Like I watch a lot of college basketball,
Right.
and a lot of times, even in but even in the NBA, like the game is much different now from what it used to be. It's not as exciting.
Yeah.
There's not enough exciting players. There's not enough good basketball getting, played nowadays. And I'm not going to blame that on the money. I just think that some players need to recommit to, the game.
And if you do if you do get a player that plays with a lot of flair, sometimes it gets traded to Los Angeles.
Because I'm gonna be honest, like if Rico Gathers played in the NIL era, and then here's the catch.
Yeah.
Not only that, but I could have went play football too for my fit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or 6. I don't know how they work now, but could have did that too. And you talking about even more opportunities. So I think I would have been hot.
Yeah.
I'd have been hot for real. I think my NIL evaluation would have been crazy.
Yeah. Well, this is always something I've thought, and maybe this is a naive thought, but if I were a college player, let's take Rob Wright as an example, because I think he's the perfect example of this. He's come to Baylor. He's had a lot of success his freshman year. Hopefully he stays, for 1 or 2 more years. I would think if I were him, and I think he does a good job of this, but I would almost want to be like the mayor of Waco. Right. Because like a Tweety Carter, someone who's just got a lot of charisma, look at everything as if you're a politician, like you're running for public office, because these relationships that you make with alumni and with people at Baylor can pay so many dividends for years to come. And I think sometimes, to your point that you made earlier, if you're just worried about, the money that you get now, and maybe constant free agency, you're going from one team to another, and you don't put roots somewhere, it's a short-sighted deal.
Well, the thing is
you
this,
agree with
like, case in point, like with me,
Yeah.
I wanted to leave after my junior year.
Yeah.
Like I was done. I was like, you know what, I'm out.
Right.
Like I gotta, I wanted that. I wanted the money.
Right.
Like,
Sure.
let's be honest. Like I wanted the money.
Yeah.
And I decided to stay.
Right.
Because one, I love Waco.
Right.
I felt like, me coming back, it was going to be another opportunity for us to try to win a championship.
Right.
Also for me to pat my stats a little bit more.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And also finish with my degree,
Right.
which is everything that I did.
Right.
And then also it opened up a new door for me. Go and play for the Dallas Cowboys in the NFL.
Right.
Hey, at the end of the day, my story and my legacy is much deeper because I took my time.
Yeah, right.
And I made sound decisions, for how I wanted my story to be written.
Right.
So,
People identified with you. They knew
Yeah.
they had 4 years of watching you, so they became fans of you,
Right.
and became loyal to you.
Even in my darkest times here in Waco, like people just showed me so much love and admiration, and they just kept my hopes and my motivation up for myself. You know what I mean? And I really appreciate the city of Waco as a whole, because this was a big part of my growth as a young man.
Right.
So,
Right.
I really appreciate the memories here.
And now you're giving back. Like you're giving back to these guys on the team.
Yeah.
Do we have any calls, Walker? Okay. Remember, the link is in the thread on Sikkim 365 Premium. So hit that link up and give us a call. I do have a couple other questions that were posted here. One was about the game day experience. It said that, I think this is a good point. You come, you spend your money, you buy tickets, you come to the game, and sometimes you have a worse viewing experience than if you stayed at home, and it's because they never show replays.
Right.
That I think needs to change. Like I think that there are many opportunities, and I don't know if they do it because it's a sportsmanship deal, but it's certainly not what they do at other arenas and not what they do for professional games. There's an opportunity there where there's some the 50-50 calls, and they don't show the replay on the video board. That is something that I think is a valid critique of game day presentation. I'll have to ask David Kay about that.
And I mean, like the refs ain't perfect. Like they're not going to be able to get every.
Yeah. But
they do have the technology
to
get, all the different angles to make the best decision that they can make. And I'm going to be honest, like, at the end of the day, let them make it. Like, hey, I look at bad calls as challenges. Like, okay, this is the situation. Bet we got to do this now. We got to do that now. You know what I mean? It's all about making chess moves while you're out there. And I know the fans be really, really upset. But at the end of the day, like being a player, you got to accept what come with the game.
Sure.
Especially like when the refs make calls. And, that's just outside of our control. So
next play mentality.
Yeah.
All right, this is a question from Raul. He says, do you think Omir has a chance at the NBA? It would be huge for Nicaragua to have a player in the league. I mean, what's your thoughts on him as far as an NBA making an NBA roster?
So my whole dissection of Norchad, honestly, I see him as a player.
Right.
Like I don't see him being from Nicaragua.
Right.
I don't see him, being, like people, they try to say, oh, yeah, he's undersized.
Right.
This, that, and the third. I don't see him as he's a fifth-year guy. I see him as a player.
Right.
And at the end of the day, I keep telling people, like, consistency, production, that's what people pay for, and also potential.
Right.
You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, if you give him the opportunity to show what he can do in the NBA, he's going to do exactly what he's doing now.
Right.
Produce.
Right.
Be consistent. This, that, and the third. And he's going to have numbers that's just going to pay him real well. So, like I said, everybody be trying to make it seem like, oh, yeah, the NBA is just so this, so that. And it's like, bro, I watch the NBA, and I be disappointed in what I see. Right. Because I know right now, Rico Gathers, haven't played, since I left here, can go make a positive impact and produce in the NBA right now because my style of play, my mindset. Right. You know what I mean? The guys now, they walking the ball up, they shooting threes, they doing everything. It's like, bro, like, I can't take that serious.
I can't.
At the end of the day, like,
I think
if we just gonna play open gym, then hey, just say that. Just say, oh yeah, like, oh well, Norchad's not a good open gym player. Cool, because he actually plays and does things that basketball players are supposed to do.
Right.
Period. I look at him like he's like a Bam Adebayo, whatever his name is.
Yeah.
Like he has the same similarities. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, will he get a chance? Of course he's going to get a chance. You know what I mean? He's the most decorated player in college basketball right now. Yeah. He's the most consistent in college basketball right now. And at the end of the day, like any team that doesn't take a hard look at Norchad Amir, hey, let me know. Like you're not trying to win games. You just looking for the next hottest thing, because at the end of the day, like I said, they used to say the same thing about me. Well, Rico Gathers is undersized and this, that, and the third. Well, shit, Rico Gathers went played in the NFL.
Right.
And played in the playoffs and did all this. So what that tell you about me? At the end of the day, it don't matter what you say. I can do whatever I want when I want. And that's what I did. So, you know, at the end of the day, I think Norche got the same opportunity, you know what I mean? And, you know, you got the opportunity, like, hey, if I could do it all over again, I probably still would have went to the NFL. But right after the NFL, I would have went to the NBA.
Yeah.
Period. And guess what? I had opportunities too.
Yeah.
So I just didn't want to do it. It's a difference.
Yeah. All right, go-to restaurant in Waco.
It used to be Fuji,
Okay.
but now it's Ichiban.
Ichiban.
Yeah.
All right.
So, yeah, I mean, you know, I need to go. I'm looking for a steakhouse tonight, actually. So I'm thinking about Diamondbacks.
Diamondbacks is good.
But
Tried BLVD Boulevard.
BLVD right there, right?
Yeah, right there.
Yeah,
right
right
next
there.
to it. Yeah.
No, I haven't tried it. Is that good?
It's good. Yeah, they do.
I
good
mean,
steak.
is it like, you know, I'm kind of bougie. I'm from Frisco. So, you know, we got Del Frisco's, we got Perry's.
I would compare it favorably. I think you know,
We got Eddie V's.
yeah, I would say it compares to Perry's, and as far as the quality of the steak,
Yeah.
you know, Perry's.
Like, I'm a ribeye guy, so.
Yeah, True Lux. You ever eat a True Lux?
Yeah, True Lux, yeah.
Yeah, I'd say it compares favorably.
Okay,
to those places.
okay, cool,
Yeah.
cool. So.
What about, all right, so you like Ichiban, anything else that it's kind of a go-to for you? Like what's any
Waco?
any hidden gems that come to mind?
Ooh, I mean, I'll just tell you about the places I used to go to.
Right.
So, of course, you know, Cafe Cappuccino.
Yeah, right.
You know, that's like bona fide breakfast.
Sure.
You know, I love the, what it is, the 2-egg, 3-egg combo.
Right.
And I used to get the big ham that they come with it. Oh, my gosh. With the big old pancake, chocolate, chocolate banana pancakes. So, yeah, you know, I used to do that. And then also, what else did I used to eat on there? I ate a lot of Fuji. Like Ichiban and all that stuff. That's what I used to eat, like Waco roll, volcano rolls. That's what I used to eat. Like,
I have a funny memory of you. We were eating, I went on the Kentucky trip, and me and Trent Sharp were at breakfast with you. And I just remember you, my memory is you and Torian, even though you were freshmen, you wanted to fight. Like, you guys wanted to fight that day,
Right.
you know? And, I mean, AJ Walton played great. You know, Grady gave us some good things. Pierre was terrific. I mean, and we ended up winning that game. Broke their 55-game home winning streak.
yeah, we did that.
But I remember we were eating breakfast, and I think you had an omelet, and you were pouring syrup on top of it.
Yes, syrup.
And,
syrup on everything.
and Trent Sharp said, "What are you, the elf?" And I don't think you understood the reference at the time. Have you
Right,
seen the
right,
movie?
right. No,
Have you seen the movie
I-
since then?
I haven't. I haven't.
So the elf is like a Will Ferrell Christmas movie, and he pours syrup on everything. And so
Literally.
yeah, like tons and tons of syrup.
Yeah, like so you know, I was a big McGriddle's breakfast guy.
Right.
So, you know, like syrup, like I dip my McGriddle in syrup, and, you know, like, and I did that literally for years. Like, I just stopped eating like that when, like, probably like last year.
You got to start. Your metabolism slows down when you get a little older, right?
Yeah, well, it ain't even that. It's just, you know, I was eating so much carbs back then. That's why I couldn't lose no weight when we, you know, was on you know, if I would have, y'all got to understand, too, this is why I think I'm the most athletic person to ever come to Baylor. Like, I'm the most athletic person, period, at 280 pounds, okay?
Yeah.
I was doing people.
Right,
I was doing so much damage to people at 280 pounds. Like, y'all know how hard that is? Like, y'all find me another 280 pound male specimen that can do what Rico Gathers was doing, eating syrup on everything, double rice at Ichiban and Fuji,
Right.
and like multiple servings of Waco rolls and volcano rolls and stuff. Like I'll never forget when I came back over the summer.
Right.
Literally, you know, my wife, she had her first kid.
Yeah.
And I came back here and I was 306 pounds because I was back home eating like a hog.
Louisiana food.
And literally, like, that's why I say, like, I had to work all that off once I got back. So that's why I tell people, like, people don't know, like, how hard I used to work. Yeah. And obviously how much I used to eat. You know what I mean? But, you know, at the end of the day, like, that's why I tell people, like, I appreciate hardworking players.
Yeah.
And, you know, I just think nowadays, you know, it's so it's just not as intense as it used to be. It's intense for the wrong reasons. Like, it's intense.
Yeah.
It's intense for money.
All right.
It ain't intense for, you know, the purpose of, I think I'm the baddest mofo on the court right now.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, and that was my mentality. Like, I played with a chip on my shoulder, and anybody who stood in my way was about to get dealt with. That's just me. I'm just saying.
Right.
You know?
I had Jaden Nunn in here last game after the game, and he made the comment. He said, "Man, if I didn't get paid, I'd play basketball. I love basketball. I just love the game."
And he said it just like that.
Yeah.
Right? See, I'm not gonna say it. You see how I'm talking,
Right.
Right. Like, you see the intensity,
Right.
The charisma behind it.
Yeah.
It's because that's really what I
got
feel.
some passion for
like,
it.
I
Yeah.
can go out there today.
Who impresses you on this roster? Like, is there anybody that stands out to you from that standpoint? That's
Like a mindset,
just like
a dog.
a dog. That's a good word for it. Obviously, we had him on our national championship team.
Who?
The
dogs?
Davian,
Yeah. No,
Jared,
for sure,
Mark
for
Vital,
sure.
yeah.
The dogs,
Yeah.
But since then,
Right.
you know what I mean? Like,
Sohan had some of that in him.
It ain't been as doggish,
Yeah.
as what I'm looking
I thought
for.
Akinjo had some of that in him, but yeah.
Yeah, but dog is a mind. Like, I'm a psychopath.
Right.
And people need to really understand, like, my psycho, like, you know what I mean? My psychopathic mindset
Right.
is like, I'm, you know, when I'm out there on the floor, like, I have killer instincts.
Yeah.
Like,
You want to get 20 rebounds every game.
like I want to
Yeah.
dominate
Right.
you in the
Right.
worst way.
Right.
And
Break your will.
yeah, like, you know what I mean? Like, between those lines, it's war.
Yeah.
For me.
Right.
Like, I'm not out there to dap you off after the game. I'm
Right.
out there to really embarrass you in front of your coach and have your coach talking about me, like Calipari, Huggins, and all these other coaches,
Right,
Bill
right.
Self, all these other coaches used to talk about, man, I wish I had Rico. Yeah, because they saw the passion in the delivery.
Yeah.
And they knew, like, anytime this kid steps on the floor, he's gonna go out there and work his butt off.
Right.
And that might change the game. You know?
I remember there were so many games where you guys, like, there'd be an offensive possession where you guys would get like 5 or 4 offensive rebounds in the same possession. And I just remember just how it broke the other team's will. You just look at them and they would just be like,
But it was all unintentionally.
Right.
Like, I was not trying to
you're
do
trying to make shots, obviously.
No, I'm saying, like, I used to just do my job.
Yeah. Right.
Like, it wasn't like, like, we trying to break their will.
Right,
No, I had fun doing my job.
Right.
And that's why, like, you would see me with games where I got 28 rebounds.
Right.
And 20 rebounds and
Right.
all these different, double games that with these crazy stat lines because I enjoy doing my job. And you know what? I attribute that to Coach Tang.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, my junior year, we don't have Corey. We don't have Isaiah.
Yep.
And, I'm frustrated.
You're
It's
playing
like
3 guards, basically.
It's like
Yeah.
the second, third game into the season. I'm frustrated.
Right.
I'm like, man, I don't feel a part of this offense.
Right.
So of course, my dad and my brother, they go to Coach Tang. They're like, yeah, what's up?
Right.
I'm like, but look, you want to be a part of offense? Go rebound.
Right.
And at first I'm like, bro, that's messed up.
Right.
Like, why I gotta work so hard for
Right.
me to be a part of the offense?
Right.
But from that point on, that was the birth of
Your great offensive rebounding.
Rico, the Rico maniac. Right. Period. That was the birth of the legend.
Yeah.
That was the birth of everything that they told me I wasn't gonna be able to do.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do.
Right.
Period.
Who was the second strongest guy you ever, obviously, Omir's strong. Was it Mark Vital?
I'm gonna be honest, there ain't too many.
Yeah.
There ain't too many that I just was like, yeah, man, you tough. That you.
Does anybody come to mind in the Big
definitely
12?
not.
Who gave you
definitely
some
not
wars?
tougher than me.
Yeah. Who gave you some wars?
I mean, they had guys, right? But they
Right.
wasn't the guy.
Right.
Like, you was doing what your coach told you to do. I'm doing what I want to do out here.
Right.
Like, it's just different. Like, my coach couldn't tell me how to go do what I do. He couldn't coach. Like, there's a reason why the drills, like certain drills within Baylor practice is named after me, because you can't coach that.
Right. Right.
You know, this is what Rico used to do.
Yeah.
Period. Like, you know what I mean? And that's the difference. Like, a player like me had no business being in position the way that I was.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I really shouldn't have been a part of this team, because you look at everybody around me, who else resembled me?
Right.
Nobody.
Right.
You know, hey, they could have had a 7-foot guy who shot threes, but they believed in what Rico Gathers had to offer.
Yeah.
You know, and within that belief, that was when it clicked for me.
Yeah.
Like, this is what you gotta do.
Yeah. Right.
You know what I mean, you gotta be the toughest guy on the court.
Right.
You know, so defense, diving for loose balls,
Yeah.
multiple second chance opportunities.
Yeah.
You know, just winning plays.
All right, so I'm looking at the stats here. Obviously, you're a huge reason for all this, but when you started, really getting significant minutes, 2014, 13-14 season, we were number 3 in the country in offensive rebounding percentage. Obviously, you're a huge reason for that. 2015, we were number 1 in the country in offensive rebounding percentage.
Number 1.
And then 2016, we were number 4. So, yeah.
But, yeah, so 2015 and 16 was a weird year. Because, like, I sat out my first 2 games.
Right.
Because I was sick. I had a stomach virus or whatever, infection.
Yeah.
But also, it's a year, like, typically, like, first off, let me tell you how selfless I was. My coaches did not want me to sit.
Yeah. Yeah.
But first off, I played majority of that year sick.
Right.
Because I kept telling our doctors.
You had stomach issues.
I kept telling, I'm like, I don't know what's wrong with me.
Right.
But so from the start of the season till I figured it out,
Yeah.
I was sick.
Right.
But look at my stat line.
Yeah, you still were.
I was averaging 16. Like, I think I was averaging like 16, 17, and 13.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Sick.
Right.
Going to war.
Right.
So that's what I tell people. It's like, at the end of the day, my mentality for this game, for competing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? A lot of people ask, well, why'd you switch to football? Because I could.
Yeah. Right.
Because I can.
Right.
And I will.
Right.
And I did.
Yeah.
Like, at the end of the day, like, it's a mentality. Anything that I do, anything that I want to do, I'm going to do.
You weren't lying when you said you didn't take threes. You took 1 3.
One
your whole
three.
college.
And what I did.
You made it.
I made it. You know what I mean? So with that being said, like, that's why I tell people,
Yeah.
like, it's literally like a mind. It was always a mindset. It was never I was the best skilled player on the court.
Yeah, you're
Like,
number 1 in offensive rebounding percentage.
It was never I was top 10 on the mock draft.
Right.
Like, it was like, dude, like, hey, we got games, we got people to play. They think they got their guy, and then we got me.
Right.
And it's gonna be a shootout tonight.
In the Big 12, you probably know this, but you were your freshman year, you were number 1 in offensive rebounding percentage, in conference play only. Sophomore year, number 1. Junior year, number 1. Senior year, number 1.
At the end of the day, that's what I'm trying to tell you.
UA class, yeah.
And you want to know what? I checked all my stats.
Right.
What am I dominating at?
Rebound.
What do I need to do more?
Right.
Okay, cool. Let's dominate that.
Right. Yeah.
Like, I used to look at my steals.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? My steal.
Yeah.
I think my offense, my steal to turnover ratio.
Yeah.
Was like top whatever.
Yeah.
So like the stuff. So I used to pride myself on
the steal percentage also.
I used to pride myself on taking care of the ball.
Right.
You know what I mean? Not hurting my team.
Right.
So, like, that's the stuff that these young guys need to look at.
Right. And your free throw percentage went up every year. You're
I mean,
you're 51%.
I mean,
by the time you were a senior, you're 63%.
I mean, you know, nah.
All right,
You see these big old hands.
All right, yeah.
You see these big old hands.
Hey, this is great. I'm getting lots of calls in the chat. They're like, Rico's a great interview. Rico speaks the truth. So thank you.
It's
for
the
doing that.
realest interview y'all will ever have.
Favorite teammate? All right, well, that's one last question. Favorite teammate?
Favorite teammate. I mean, obviously Torian Prince.
Yeah.
Like, you know, we came in together. That was my roommate my freshman year. And
okay, what was the argument about in the Yale game?
I don't even remember. But
just two competitors.
You know what it was? Like, you know what it was? When we went to the USA Pan Am games, the trial.
Yeah.
You know, we went there together.
Right.
But, you know, obviously he separated himself.
Yeah.
During that. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I went there shooting threes.
Right.
And they was like, no, we don't want that.
Right.
But he took his game to another level.
Right.
And I think for me, mentally, I saw, you know, like there was nobody on that team that was better than me, like on that team. But, you know, the idea, that's why I tell people, like, everybody be like, oh, well, you know, with Norchad, you know, you got to do this, do that, yada, yada. Hey, man, just be who you are.
Right.
Because for me, like, I was thinking, like, yeah, you know, I got to shoot threes
Right,
to
right,
make this
right,
team.
right.
But if I would have just went there and been who I was and
Right.
focused on that, I would have made that team.
Different story, yeah.
You know, so, and I think, you know, when he made the team, I just saw his mentality and mindset just change.
Right.
Almost like a, you know, and I love that for him.
Right.
I loved it for him
Right.
because I know where he was.
Yeah.
I know where like me and TP used to be like two like puppies.
Yeah, hungry.
Who just like if you watch the Mufasa.
Yeah.
With, you know, Mufasa and Scar.
Right.
Like, that's how we was.
Right.
Like, you know, we came up together. That's my brother.
Right.
And, you know, but because, you know, we both trying to be the king.
Right.
You know, and, you know, that's what it was.
Personality
It was just brotherly love. Like,
Right.
you know what I mean? Like, and, you know, we realized, like, we down, we losing to Yale.
Yeah.
And we realized, man, this might be our last rodeo. Right. You know what I mean? So it's a lot of tension built up.
Right.
And from there, you know, like honestly, like believe this, like I literally hadn't talked to TP since that game.
Really?
Like, well, I mean, we talked,
Yeah.
but I hadn't seen him since
Right.
that last game.
Wow.
Until over the summer. So like that was like 8 years.
Right.
Like I hadn't seen TP, and when I saw him, it was boom, like straight to it, like we just seen each other.
Right.
You know, like we've been seeing each other for years. So,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like that's what you get. Like that's why I say you gotta have people that you like going to war with.
Yeah.
And I always love going to war with TP.
Yeah.
And people don't know like the backstory behind me and TP
Yeah.
as well as we do. Like we
Sure.
literally came in, went through the struggle of, you know, not getting as much minutes that we wanted to get.
Sure.
He thinking about transferring. Right. I'm thinking about transferring. Like, you know, and because we both could have went to schools
Right.
that
Featured you guys.
featured us, like, you know what I mean? But we chose to come to Baylor.
Right.
And I think ultimately the way that the story was written coming here, it couldn't have worked out no better.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, that's what I tell people, like with all this portal stuff, and I get it, like now it's more business.
Right.
But back then, man, you know, I'm a committed person. Like I don't like just jumping ship.
Yeah, but fans remember, like, you know, like they guys that are gritty, guys that, you know, like, you know, the Jared Butlers of the world. I mean, it's like they'll forever love those guys. You know?
I mean, you know, and even with Jared, like, you know, I remember when that kid was young.
Went to your high school. Tim Bird was
went
his
to,
coach,
but not only that, he was on my AAU team.
Yeah,
like
right.
the AAU team that my brother created.
Right.
Like he was on that team.
Right.
And he was a little chunky kid.
Right.
You know, who just was hungry.
Right.
Like, you know, and I watched him play for that Takers Elite AAU team.
Yep.
You know, with my nephew who never was gonna be a lick worth of nothing. Yeah. you know, playing ball and literally grow from that to doing what he was doing at Riverside.
Right.
And then coming, you know, he tried Alabama, but ultimately ended up at Baylor and following in the footsteps of, you know, me, Tweety.
Yep.
Like, I remember when Tweety was putting 74 on our local public school's head. I saw
reserve
that was also a Burt, you know, in a basket, like a Burt point for me, because I saw that and I was like, dang.
Yeah.
Like, because I was trash. We were real trash back then. And I was like, man, I want to be like that guy. Little Tweety.
Final comment. We'll close the show. Yeah. Stomach issues must have been the Fuji, is what the comment was.
Hey, it might have been. It might have been. You know, I don't know. I mean, what's funny is it was a lot of people within this area
having stomach issues
with the same issue. Like,
interesting.
I remember our assistant. She said she had it. One of my partners said she had it. Like, so it was something within reach.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's what ultimately, you know, like, I'm telling you, like, that stuff. Like, I had to get a tube down my stomach, and they had to, you know, hey, that's whatever medicine they put me on when they put me to sleep. I was like, hey, like, y'all need to keep that coming. Like, that was some good stuff, because literally, like, I fell asleep, and then I just woke up, and they was like, yeah, you know, we put a tube down, you know, we went in your stomach, saw everything was good, you know, this. I was like, dang, when y'all did that? Because I don't remember none of it.
Got some anesthesia.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hey, listen, this has been great. You've been listening to a Sikkim 365 post-game call-in show. Ashley Hodge, Rico Gathers. Thanks for the great memories, Rico, and Sikkim Bears.
Yeah, I appreciate y'all for having me.
Thank you.
Yeah.